I'm going to go on ahead and just speak some truths, if you don't mind. Because my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to you all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences, who's able to work harder and do more and overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land and is putting forward concrete proposals to directly address the things that are vital in our neighborhoods and our communities, from housing to making sure that our mothers, our fathers, and our grandparents can afford medicine, and making sure that we are dealing with prices that are too high and rents that are too high, and are committed to making sure that we maintain the Affordable Care Act, so everybody's got help, and cares about things like education and entrepreneurship in our neighborhoods. And that's on one side. And on the other side, you have someone who has consistently shown disregard, not just for the communities, but for you as a person. And you're thinking about sitting down.
I'm gonna just pause it right there real quick. He says Donald Trump has had disregard for black men in this country. But Barack Obama did the same thing that Kamala Harris did when they asked her. When they asked her, are you doing anything for black people? She said no. She said emphatically, no, I would never say I'm going to sit here and do something just for black people. No. You heard the voice. Everybody's seen the clip. Well, Barack has a similar clip to where he states that he wouldn't do anything. He said his exact words were, he said, that's not how this country works. So the reporter asked him, would you do anything specifically for black people? Why don't you, everybody else does something specifically for other people. Would you do something specifically for black people? No, that's not how this country works. This is what he said. But now he sits up here and he candidly says that Donald Trump cares nothing about black people. When last time I checked, when Donald Trump was in office, he was giving people presidential pardons that shouldn't have been in prison who were black people. It was more than just one person that he gave presidential pardons to. I don't remember any other president doing anything like that. Let's continue.
But, because cookie and you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. Because part of it makes me think, I'm speaking to men directly now, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that.
Now, that's the part when he says that you're trying to come up with other reasons not to vote for Kamala, and you're not feeling having a woman as president, and which is the reason why you don't want to vote for Kamala. Negative. Nobody's thinking about um, that we should vote for somebody because they're a woman. Just the same reason we're not voting for somebody just because they're they say they're black. Being a woman is not the qualifying. Um, it's not a qualifier to be president. So just because you get up there, I know that's my daughter asking about my Wi-Fi password. Just because you're a woman and you run doesn't mean everybody should vote for you just to make history. And then we make history, and then what? You get in, we celebrate for one day, for 24 hours, and then what? You proceed to screw up everything, huh? Yeah. I tell you, these people.
And I think anybody you are talking to in a barbershop, anybody you are talking to in your house, in your family,
Press 1 in the chat if you can hear.
at church, who is coming with that kind of attitude, I think you have to ask them, well, how can that be? Because the women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time.
So he says the women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time. So that means, yeah, you know, she cooked for me. She has my back. If someone yells at me, she'll yell back at him. Let's just make her president because she has our back. They have our back all the time. So you know what? You deserve to be president. You know why? You've been a good friend. You've been a good family member. You've looked out for me. That's not how we're supposed to pick our president. We're not just supposed to pick our president just because they've had my back. I've had backs of friends of mine, and I couldn't even get $100 from them. Let alone they're not gonna vote me in for president just because I had their back. Crazy.
They've been raising us and working and having our backs. And when we get in trouble, and the system's not working for us, they're the ones who are out there marching and protesting. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down. That's not acceptable.
So he says that's what being a man is, putting a woman down to black men. So we're putting women down if we don't vote for somebody in office that doesn't, for somebody that doesn't belong in office. So we're putting women down. If you don't vote for this woman, you're putting her down, first of all. And not only are you putting her down, you also hate that person. You hate women because you feel like someone else is a better candidate. And my thing is this: Donald Trump's been in office already. We all know that when he gets into office, he's going to hit the ground running. Whether you like what he's going to say or not, or what he's going to do or not, he's going to hit the ground running. I don't want a mystery man or a mystery woman running the country, making policy, talking to Putin, talking to Kim Jong Un. I'm tired of our money in the tune of billions going overseas, and I'm tired of our money being spent in the tune of billions for people that don't belong here. There's 25 million people in this country that don't belong here, but yet they keep telling us that we need to build more housing. No, we don't need to build more housing. We need to get rid of the 25 million people that don't belong here, first of all. And we need affordable housing. We don't need more housing. We need affordable housing. All of our social programs, all the things that we enjoy in this country, um, the services that us as taxpayers pay our money into in order to sustain us and our population, it's all being bilked. It's all being milked right now. And I say within the space of 2, 3 more years, this country is going to be unrecognizable. And I'm not talking about the racial makeup or anything like that. I'm just talking about there will be no safety nets. There will be no programs. There will be no social security. There's already no money for FEMA. So I suspect going forward from here, if there's any inclement weather, any earthquakes, any hurricanes, any tornadoes that decimates any areas of the country, the citizens are going to be basically on their own. Um, and it's just so sad that this is what this is all coming to. That we need to be chastised by the former president Barack Obama, us as black men, and men in general, but he's talking directly to black men. We need to be chastised and spoken down to because we're choosing almost, I won't say en masse, but a lot of black men are saying no to the status quo. And um, it's just crazy. And we're living in bizarro land right now. We're truly living in bizarro land. I'm gonna end this live though. Thank you everybody that joined, and I will be back on at around 6 o'clock with another topic. Thank you so much.